Well, good evening. We will be starting in a minute or two. Before we do, I just need to mention some unfortunate things, really. The past few days has been an absolute bloody nightmare at HQ here. Just to bring you up to speed on what's been happening, and also I suppose it serves as a kind of story of the worst possible side of running an internet business. I first had a website back in about 1995, and since then, which is what, 2017, nearly 18 years, I've never had an issue for longer than maybe an hour of any of my websites not being active or not working properly, people not being able to find them. Generally, it's always been, a little blip, and an hour later, the back up and working fine. Unfortunately, it came to our attention on Thursday at some point, and our sites, and by sites I mean tons of sites, and also all the download pages for customers who'd already had membership for stuff, weren't working. We assumed this would be a technical temporary glitch even for half an hour, or what have you. Unfortunately, it proceeded, so hence we had to kind of email everyone who's on customer lists saying there's an issue. And then they were back up and running, but then they were down again. And then they were back up and running. And unfortunately, in a nutshell, without being technical, because Rob, I'm sure, can explain that marginally better, even he, I don't think, fully understands what the issue is, but basically it sounds like a server's completely, utterly, totally crashed, screw bar fucked, and they're having to back up everything, and that means all websites, all data, all stuff in members area, all stuff that people can buy from our website, absolutely everything onto another server. So for all we know, 5 minutes from now, everything might be back online. And that means that when it is, great, the stuff that was there earlier in the week will instantly be back. For you, unfortunately, as they will have had to have back up from an earlier point, everything that was uploaded, it will mean that certain information will be missing that was there live and active by yesterday lunchtime when it had been down and gone back up again. Everything was uploaded, re-uploaded. Unfortunately, it's crashed, so the chances are that when it's uploaded, Rob's going to have to upload the vast majority of stuff again, thanks to, well, basically, the wonders of electronic equipment that apparently only has a certain shelf life. So, unfortunately, it could be, I don't know, because obviously we've got this webinar window open and I can't open anything else on the computer at the minute, otherwise it slows everything down. It could be that as we speak, the websites are back up, or it could be that it takes another hour, 2 hours, or perhaps even as long as 12 hours, judging by the past support ticket. Now, Arjun keeps putting comments, can we get? The point is, no one can get anything that was in the members area until our server is repaired and they basically reactivate everything. None of our websites are working, none of the download pages for any of our products, so anyone who was already an Elite Hypnosis Bootcamp member, you'll have also noticed you can't currently download anything from there. All we can say is we are really sorry, and yeah, Q's got a point. Now I can feel a compensation claim coming on from Mr. Smith. Believe me, our legal department is talking to theirs regarding the loss of. Yeah, it must be costing us an arm and a leg, Keith. That's an understatement. We had something that launched, and just off our affiliate tracking software, we know there's been hundreds of people land, well, click on the link from affiliates, but obviously they'll have landed on a page that doesn't exist. So we've probably lost tens of thousands, which is not good. The stuff was there, as I've just explained, Arjun, a couple of days ago. Unfortunately, the site then crashed down. I'll let Rob explain a bit more. hopefully that kind of, I'll let Rob explain more. That's as much as I kind of know. So we're just going to have to plod on, as it were. Obviously, the recording of this webinar and all the others, you're not going to be able to access until our server's up and running, which could be in 5 minutes, it could be in an hour, it could be tomorrow. We really, really don't know. So onwards and upwards, because this is we still need to plod on with the next module. So let's welcome to the call Mr. Robert Temple. Good evening, sir. After that,
good evening. Good evening. Thank you very much. Can everybody hear me okay? Hopefully everybody can hear me okay. Can you hear me okay? Yeah, okay, cool. Everyone's saying yes. Good stuff. All right, well, before we dive into tonight's module, I'm going to kind of just give you a bit more information from my end, as I've been kind of handling all the technical side of passive hypnosis profits. Arjan has typed a few questions in the questions box, just things like when can we get the first webinar, when can we get the training videos, when can we get links to the affiliate networks, when can we get all this? The truth is, you can have all of that when I have it. Right now, it is on. Obviously, it's on my computer, but I can't, and it's also on the server. But even I can't get it off our server right now, and nobody can. So, as Alex just kind of mentioned, when everything is back up and running, which we're hoping will be like overnight tonight, then I'm going to spend all day tomorrow and the day after putting everything back where it should be, and try to get stuff fixed. I've been up till the early hours of the morning in discussions with people at the web hosting company, trying to get things sorted. We have one of the top web packages available. We pay a fortune for it, and as we mentioned, we've just launched a new product, and we can only estimate to the nearest $10,000 how much money we've lost this week as a result. So we apologise for everything. Arjan said, I know I can't get stuff right now, but just asking since you promised most of these things weeks ago before the website problems. Yeah, absolutely. Again, one of the things I kind of wanted to mention on that was, you know, you guys are kind of our secret students, if you like. Nobody else kind of knows about this program. This is you're kind of our beta testers. So we kind of said in the initial training webinar, and yes, you can get a recording of that if you want access to the free webinar that we did in the first place. Arjan's asked about. I'll upload that for you as well. Yeah, we kind of put this together as a kind of a beta testing thing. So we're kind of building this program around you, which is why it's a little bit rough around the edges at times and all the rest of it. But that's cool because it means you get to see this stuff way before anybody else. Nobody else is going to see this until the end of the year. And so that's cool. So we thank you for your patience on that. We know that you're really excited and you've got in for a fraction of the price of what this is going to be as well. So cool. With all of that said, and I'll make sure to chop all of that section out of the recording so it's nice and neat for you tomorrow. You can get straight on with the content. Let's dive in with Module 5 of this webinar, where we're going to talk about payment processing platforms, or rather a payment processing platform. So basically, here's how I kind of here's what I want to talk to you about tonight. If we're going to start selling your product very soon, then we're going to need some way to accept people's payments via PayPal or via their credit or debit card. Now, you could fundamentally do this in a couple of ways. You could do this just by using PayPal. Literally, I'm sure you all have a PayPal account. You can just log into PayPal, make a payment button, set it up so that when they're paid, it takes them to the download page and you'll be good to go. Or alternatively, you could do it the really complicated way, where you get your own merchant account, where you can process your own credit and debit cards. You get acceptance with Visa and MasterCard. Let me tell you, I've been there and it is not a fun journey. So I scrapped all of that. I went back to basics and now I do things very, very simply indeed. Now, PayPal, as I mentioned, is a good solution. The problem with PayPal is that PayPal doesn't have a kind of inbuilt affiliate program, if you like. Now, one of the major traffic tactics that we're going to be suggesting that you use with this program is affiliate-driven traffic. So you get other people to send you their traffic in exchange for a commission on any sales that they generate. So the problem with that is it means you need some kind of software, I guess, in order to track which affiliates are sending the traffic and which affiliates are generating the sales, and therefore which affiliates need to be paid what. Now, there are external software solutions for this, but they are mostly pretty expensive. They're pretty expensive and they're pretty clunky as well. So the one that we recommend you use is a website called clickbank.com, which we've mentioned a few times already. That's clickbank.com, Clickbank. They are pretty much, disclaimer, I haven't researched this, but I'm fairly sure it's true. They are one of the internet's biggest and most trusted merchants of downloadable information products. They've processed hundreds of millions of dollars worth of information products, and basically they make the whole process very simple, and we're going to talk to you about that tonight. Now, there isn't really a slide presentation for tonight's webinar because everything I want to show you, I actually have to show you how to do it. So what I'm going to do is I've just put this slide up to make everything look pretty, and now I'm going to get rid of it, because what I want to show you instead is actually on my computer. So before we go any further, I'd like to talk to you and kind of recap where we've got so far. We're kind of just past the halfway mark with the course now. We're kind of on to Module 5, as I mentioned. And we've pretty much got the initial things in place. And I want to show you what I mean by the initial things. Over here on the desktop of my computer, and I'm really hoping that the webinar is not going to lag too much because it's going to be really tough for me to show you this otherwise. So I'm just watching my webinar to see when it catches up. There we go. So over here on my desktop, you can see that I've got a couple of things. There's a folder here, sorry, called Simple Quitting System, and also there is the sales letter which I showed you in last week's module. So inside this folder, which is called Simple Quitting System, I have put everything that we have collected in relation to the product that Jonathan and I are creating right now. And as I mentioned, this is the sales letter which I showed you last week. This is the sales letter that we have written for the product that we're giving away. So I'll show you inside this folder first. You'll see inside that folder there are two subfolders. It's like playing past the parcel. Inside the two subfolders are website and product. So you can do this too, and I find that this is a really good way to keep everything organized on your computer. If you just literally make a folder for your product name, so in my case it's called Simple Quitting System, and then inside there I have a folder called product, and inside there is where the product is stored, and I have one called website, and in there is where the website is stored. Now inside the product folder you'll see there are then 4 folders. One is called MP3, one is called videos, one is called ebook, and one is called worksheets. Now, it's fairly obvious that the Hypnosis MP3 is inside the one that says MP3, the videos are inside the one that says videos, the ebook is inside the one that says ebook, and the worksheets are inside the one that says worksheets. This is purely for my organizational purposes, so that I know where everything is and I can access it really quickly without having stuff strewn all over the computer. And inside the other folder, which as I mentioned is called website, there is quite a lot of things, and I want to kind of walk you through them now. So the first thing I wanted to tell you about was, obviously if we go back through the modules, in Module 1 we talked all about niche research and choosing your thing, choosing your niche for your business. In Module 2 we talked about making the actual product itself, and by following the instructions in that Module 2, you to be able to have your very own fantastic hypnotherapy or psychic or mentalism or magic style product ready for sale. And in Module 3, we've talked about putting together the framework for your website. Now, in that module, I talked to you about the 2 different possibilities when it comes to your actual website itself. One of them is that you can have a very graphical, fancy-looking website, and the other one is you can have quite a plain looking website too. And I want to show you the difference between the two. So what I did was I went to a graphic designer that I've used for quite a lot of projects, who specialize in doing this kind of mini site style design. They are called quicksitestudio.com. I'm just going to bring their website up for you for a second. This is their website. It's quicksitestudio.com. Again, I recommended these guys in Module 3. It's a guy from Birmingham in the UK called Rich, and he does a really good job of doing these kind of mini site designs. So I'm just going to show you what the hell I'm talking about. If I click on the mini site design tab at the top of his website, you will see that, and all of this is relevant, by the way. You'll see why I'm telling you all of this. He's got a bunch of testimonials, and then he's got a bunch of examples of his different mini sites as well. And then below that are all the different packages you can order. Now, I recommend the bronze package, which is $67. Again, I'm just going to wait for the webinar to catch up. Scroll down a little bit. I recommend the bronze package, which is $67. There are slightly bigger packages if you want them, but the bronze one is really big enough. Now, I ordered a bronze package, which basically means that I get a basic framework for my website. And I'm just going to show you what it looks like if I can, preferably without, I'm going to load this page up so you can see what I am talking about. Website, mini sites. Okay, so when you order a mini site like this from a graphic designer like this, and Rich isn't the only one, there's obviously lots and lots of different mini site designers, it's just Rich does a great job at a very good price. This is basically the sort of thing that you will get. So this is a blank, customizable mini site template. What you'll see you've got, effectively this is made up of a number of files. The section at the top here, where you can see it has a logo, it says Robert Temple's Simple Quitting System, and then obviously you can see just that header image there. That is one image. So we have the header image, which goes at the top of the letter. We also, if I just quickly scroll down to the bottom, there's also a footer image, which is right down at the bottom. It's effectively the same as the header image, but it's the other way around. So instead of going at the top of the letter, it goes down at the bottom. Again, I'm just going to wait for the webinar to catch up. I've already zoomed down to the bottom, but hopefully it will jump down and follow me in a second. Almost there. There we go. So you can see down here at the bottom, there is a footer section where, again, it has the logo of the product, and that kind of finishes the page. And then in the middle, there's just a letter section, which is just repeating. So I could make this letter as long as I wanted. Basically, the longer the letter gets, the page will just get longer and longer with it. So right now, there's just some sort of fake lorem ipsum type false text in there, just as a placeholder, if you like. But this is basically what you will get when you order a mini site from somebody like Rich, depending on who you buy it from, and they will give you this template. Once you've got it, you can then open this template in an HTML editor, which is basically a piece of software that allows you to very easily edit one of these letters. And literally, it is like using Microsoft Word. If you would just click here, and let's imagine you wanted that headline to be big and red and bold, or you wanted it to be bigger than it is, then you would simply block it and you choose a different font size. So it's literally just like using Microsoft Word. It's just that it edits an HTML file, a website file, rather than editing a Word document. So this is the sort of template that you would get from Rich, and obviously it would be all customized with your logo, your product, your name, and all the rest of it. Now, if you didn't want to spend out the $67, and that's fine, there is an alternative, which is to use a plain mini site template, such as this one. Again, just wait for it to catch up. I'm watching the webinar on a different screen, so I can see exactly what you can see. And it's loading. It's loading. There we go. So you can see this is effectively. You are?
I saw it before you did.
Oh, did you? Oh, that's bizarre.
Yeah.
Okay. I saw it instantly on my own screen, and obviously there's a bit of a lag where I can see it on the webinar. I think everybody, it probably depends on people's internet connections as well. Now, this page is exactly the same in terms of the content in the middle, except that it's just obviously it's just a plain box. It just looks like a box in the middle of the screen with a fancy shadow effect on it. This was actually, I had this created for us and for you guys as well by the same designer. It's just that he has, I told him to make one that was for us, that was all about the product, and make one that was just a plain mini site that would work whatever the product. Now, there's no rule as to which is better. Some people would argue that this one is better because there's less to distract people. It doesn't look as potentially showbiz and cheesy and graphical. So there's less to draw people's eyes away from the content, and really, you know, your sales letter is the most important bit. But at the same time, there's an argument that the other one is better because it's more eye-catching, it's less boring to look at. The truth is, it doesn't really matter. The content in the middle is what's going to sell your sales letter, which is why we wrote the sales letter last week. Sorry, the content in the middle is going to sell your product, not the graphics. So really, it's entirely up to you. What we're going to do is to make both. So we'll have one with the graphics and one that's just plain and sort of boring like this. And then we're going to split test the two together. And then what we'll do is after a few months of split testing, we'll actually come back to you and tell you which one worked best for us in this particular environment. But it will be different from product to product, from niche to niche, from market to market. and from sales letter to sales letter as well. So it's really up to you which one you want to use. If you want to use this one, then as soon as our members area is back up and running, this template is available for you, so that literally you can just take this, open it in an HTML editor. The one I recommend, if you've got it and you've paid for it and you've got Dreamweaver, use that. It's great. If not, there's a free one which is called Composer, which is spelled Kompozer. Again, I referenced it back in module 3 of this program, and you can download that for free from composer.net. So you would then literally just click into the relevant place where you want to change the text, and you would literally just over-type it as if you were changing it in Microsoft Word. So does that all make sense so far? If it does, just type yes into the questions box. Again, I'm just kind of recapping where we are so far and showing that we are actually doing what we're asking you to do. Okay, cool. Everyone says yes. So with that said, the other thing that we did was last week we showed you that we had written a sales letter for the simple quitting system. So with that in mind, what I've done, we've tweaked it slightly, though not enormously. We will be changing it and improving it more over the next week or so. I've then taken that sales letter and I have put it into this mini site template, which you can see here. So again, it's got the big red headline at the top. Then it's got the sub-headline just underneath that, and then it goes on with the sales letter. I'm just going to briefly scroll down a little bit. So you can see all we've done is literally, you may remember in last week's module, I showed you this as a Word document, effectively. And all I've done, all the formatting is identical. What was red and big is red and big in this. I've just copied and pasted the whole thing across. There were a couple of formatting errors that hadn't quite copied and pasted properly, but because it's so easy to make those edits in the HTML editor, I just went through and corrected everything that's wrong. So you can see that this is the sales letter for the quit smoking product, except now that it is it's in an HTML mini site instead of in a Word document. Now, this is the page as it will look like when somebody lands on the page and gets ready to read about your product and potentially buy it. The only difference is that if we scroll down to the very bottom of this sales page, or almost to the bottom, you'll see that what we've done is there is an add to cart button at the bottom of the page. This one actually says
I want to ask straight away because I can see. Can I just put in, Rob? Scroll up the screen a little tiny bit.
A little tiny bit.
Well, yeah, we're currently seeing the add to shopping cart, but scroll up a bit more. Because what struck my eye was, how did you get the word randomly? I assume that's just a font for you can quit smoking forever for less than 2 weeks worth of cigarettes. I assume you just highlighted it like you would words in Microsoft Word and then chose a font for that. But I assume you've had to choose to insert a symbol for that money back guarantee thing and stuff, have you?
Yeah, this is one of the things we'll be talking about next week. We're going to be going through and putting everything together, so I'll be showing you about
All right, okay.
Basically, what I've done.
I'm jumping ahead. I'm sorry.
I'll briefly touch on it now. Once you've put together the sales letter, and pretty much it's going to be raw text, one of the things you can then do is to go through and spruce it up a little bit. And this is one of the things you would go back to the graphic designer on, unless you know someone. Although for this, we can actually recommend someone who can do a perfectly good job of this for you, probably a much lower price. Basically, what we've got here, this image where it says, this thing here, it says you can quit smoking forever for less than 2 weeks worth of cigarettes. This is basically an image in its own right. This is actually an image made in Photoshop, which is just somebody's opened Photoshop, they've typed in that you can quit smoking forever for less than 2 weeks worth of cigarettes, and then saved it as an image, which is why it's in this funky font, this handwriting font. And also it has, if you'll see, I don't know if you can see, but it's got a little shadow underneath it as well, so it kind of stands off the page a little bit. Basically, this is all done by the designer, but there's no need to do it, that you can quit smoking forever for less than 2 weeks worth of cigarettes could just as easily be done in this ordinary text, but in black. I just did it in that font just to make it stand out a little bit more. With regard to the other things, this money back guarantee thing, you're going to get when you download the mini site template that we've given you. We've had a bunch of these designed for you, a bunch of these kind of money back guarantee type logos. Not only have we had that money back guarantee logo done, we've also had a bunch of add to cart buttons done in different colors and styles and shapes, so that effectively you can just choose the one that you like the most.
No, cool. You see, even I didn't know that, guys. I didn't realise Robert arranged so many things like that. Cool.
You're also going to get a bunch of these little bullet point type images in various. You'll get ticks, you'll get crosses, you'll get circles, you'll get lines. So all of these are just little images that you drop into the page. But the cool thing is that, like using Microsoft Word, in an HTML editor, if you want to put in a bullet point, you just click, File, Insert, Image, and then choose the image on your desktop, and it drops it straight in. So it's as point and click as using. If you can put an image into Microsoft Word, you can put an image into the HTML editor. The only other exception to that is you'll see that up here, further up, I've got these little e-cover images done. That's what we call them. It's just like a cover for a product or a DVD or a book or whatever. But obviously it's a digital. It's not real. So this isn't a physical thing we've taken a photograph of. This is an image. This DVD here isn't a case and the DVD, it's just an image that's been put together. These will be created for you by your graphic designer. So fundamentally, when you order the mini site, you will get one of these. If you'd like more, so for example, I've had one done for each different aspect of the product, a CD, a book, worksheets, and the DVD. You can effectively just email them and say, I'd also like this, 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 and this, and they'll make them for you. And they probably shouldn't be too expensive per extra one. But you only really need one. This is the one that I got, you can literally, they'll give you a load of shapes, and you can pick the one you want, whether you want a box or a book or a hardback book or a paperback book or a DVD, and then there's like 12 different DVDs you can pick from. So I initially ordered one with this box, because I wanted everything kind of, this is a big system, it comes, picture it in your mind in a box, even though it's all downloadable, picture it in a box. And then obviously I've had one done for each different aspect or each different component of the actual product itself. So we've got a CD and a book and various other bits and pieces too. So all of the images that are generic, like ticks and money back guarantee images and add to cart buttons, you're going to get with our mini site package just as an extra folder of resources. And when you think, oh, I need one of those, you go to the folder of resources, you find the one you want, and you pop it onto the page. And with regards to kind of custom images, like these little subheadings and things, you'd have to get those from your designer who designed the mini site. Does that kind of make sense? I think so. Cool. Jared says, did you make available the old draft letter on the members area? I'm very visual, like to see it again to generate my own ideas. Yeah, again, as soon as our web hosting is back up and running, the PDF of the original draft of our sales letter will be there for you to check out. And obviously, when our site goes live at simplequittingsystem.com, you'll have access to the new one. So hopefully that kind of makes sense. So I'll go back down to the bottom and get on with the payment bit. At the very bottom of the page, there is an add to cart button. And basically what would happen is when someone is ready to purchase the product, they would simply click on the add to shopping cart button. That would take them to the order form where they could then go ahead and place their order. And following that, they'd then be taken on through other pages. Now, we did mention in Module 3, the other pages involved in this process, of which there are 4. I'm going to quickly walk you through now. When they hit on the Add to Cart button, they'll be taken to the order form. Now, the order form we don't own. The order form is hosted by ClickBank. So they actually go away from your website, although it is quite subtle. They go away from your website, they go to ClickBank, they make their purchase. As soon as they've paid, ClickBank will email them a receipt, and they will be immediately redirected to what we call the registration page. So what you can see I've done is I've taken the original template that I got from the mini site designer, I've duplicated it, and I've called it registration. So basically on this page next week, when it comes to actually putting all of the final pages together, we're going to be building a registration form in here, which will allow people to then join your list once they have purchased your product. So this is a page where it will eventually say, complete your registration, enter your name and email address below, and when they enter their name and their email address, that will add them to your list and allow them to download their product. So once they have filled in their details on the registration page, this will take them to the download page. Again, all I've done, I've taken the one frame that I got from the mini site designer, I've copied it, I've called it download, and then this is where the download content will go. Again, we'll be putting all of that together next week. The next bit is called the affiliate registration page. So guess what I did? I took the exact same template, I copied it, called it affiliate registration, put the title in there, and again, this is where the affiliate registration details will go for affiliates to sign up. And finally is the affiliate tools page. Basically, again, I've done the same thing, copied the page, duplicated it, saved it as affiliate tools. So in one I've put the sales letter, in one I'm going to put the registration details, in one I'm going to put the download details, in one I'm going to put the affiliate registration details, and this one is for the affiliate promotional tools, things like emails and banners and things that they can use to send out to their list to make you and them some money. So this is the 5 basic pages that we ran through back in module 3. You can see that I have, as promised, as I told you to do, created those 5 pages, and I've also filled in the sales letter as well. So the reason I've shown you all of this is just to kind of show you where we should be at by now. So we've come up to week 5, and when you've got the recordings of all of the previous webinars and you've put them into action by module 5, this is where you will be at. Okay, so again, just to check, oh, hang on a minute. Arjen says, why PDF, not a Word document? I can give you it as a Word document as well if you like. I presume you're referring to the sales letter from last week. You can have it as a Word document. I just didn't think you'd want to edit the original Word document, so PDFs are usually better just for reading. But if you want the Word document, you can have it. I do recommend not taking and ripping off that sales letter directly because it was written specifically with the smoking product in mind. But you know, if you want to use it and take sections of it, you can do. It's up to you. So now that we have covered all of that, hopefully you all understand where you will be by the time you have studied the first 4 modules. If that's cool, everybody say yes into the questions box, and we can get on with what I really, really want to talk to you about today, which is actually accepting the payments. I was going to say taking people's money, but that sounds a bit mercenary, doesn't it?
Yeah, but
okay, cool.
It's also more truthful.
It is more truthful. Everybody says yes. Cool. Or most people do. Good. All right. So right now, this add to cart button doesn't do anything. I can sit and click it all day long and nothing happens. And the reason is it's literally just an image. This is just a JPEG image inserted on the page with an add to cart button in it, but it doesn't actually do anything. So it's time that we make it do something, and I'm going to walk you through the process of doing that now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly get back the other window, which has got everything I wanted open in it. There we go. So this is the step-by-step process for setting up your account with ClickBank. Now, I want to point out that ClickBank, the way it works is you set up an account for a product. You get it all up and running, you test that everything's working. There's a $50 activation charge where you just pay ClickBank and they will activate the website for you. Now, a lot of people go, oh my God, I don't want to pay $50. There's a reason for it. Basically, ClickBank make their money by every time you sell one of your products, they take a small percentage as a processing fee. And that's their fee for handling the payments, for processing credit, debit cards and PayPal, for paying affiliates, for paying you, because all that happens is they take the money and send you a check for anything that you're owed every 2 weeks. And basically, what would happen is that they will charge you a small percentage. Now, the problem is there will be a lot of marketers who make a product, put it on the internet, get it listed with ClickBank, and then do nothing more with it. They don't do any of the marketing, they don't do any of the traffic driving, and therefore they never sell any. Now, ClickBank would therefore have gone through all of the work and all of the effort and all of the hassle, and then they're not going to make any more money as a result. So what they do is, as a kind of a retainer, I guess, they make sure that you pay them $50 up front. That's their fee for getting everything up and running. That way, if you then never do anything else with this product, which is ultimately your fault, they haven't been penalized for it. They haven't done a load of work, put a load of man hours into getting everything up and running, and not making any money as a result. So there is a $50 one-time activation fee, and then you pay a small percentage, although you will never know about it because they take it and then send you the rest. So it's not like you get the money and then have to pay it to them. They literally do all of the processing, do all of the hassling, and then they just send you what's yours. Now, getting set up on ClickBank is a process which appears to confuse the hell out of most internet marketers. They just don't understand it. And the reason is because there are no good tutorials on the ClickBank website. When you know how to do it, and it took me a good probably 6 months to work this out, when you know how to do it, it's really simple and you can do it in 10 minutes. So I'm going to walk you through the whole process right now. So again, you do need a different ClickBank account for every product you release. The reason for that is that for each ClickBank account, you can only have one main website landing page. In other words, your affiliates will promote your product, but all of their traffic will go to one page. So what that means is you can't have your smoking product, your weight loss product, your phobia product, your stress product, and your depression product all running through one ClickBank account, because then affiliates wouldn't have any one page that they could send their traffic to. So for this purpose, you're going to need to set up a separate ClickBank account for each product that you release. But it's great, it's very easy, and it's worthwhile. So here's what you do. When you go to clickbank.com, the website will look something like this. They have had about 2 makeovers in the past 10 years, from what I gather. If you come up here to the links at the top, there's one that says sign up. This is where you would register for your actual account. So I'm going to click on the sign up button. Books put the word 20 to 30 into the question box. I'm not quite sure what he means by that. Anyway, you click on the sign up button. This would load the ClickBank registration form. We'll just wait for that to load on my screen. It seems to be a little bit slow. There we go. So this is the ClickBank sign up form, and this is where you would create your account with ClickBank. Now, it's pretty straightforward in general. Basically, you're just going to fill out this form, and there's nothing particularly difficult about it. It asks for your country, for your name, for your street address, your apartment or suite number, your city, your state, your zip code, and your sort of name and email address. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to briefly go down and fill this in. Obviously, my country is Britain. My payee name would be Robert Temple.
Just to clarify, payee name means the name that you want and can accept the checks in when you receive them for paying them into your bank.
Yeah. So you can change this information later, but you might as well get it right the first time around. This is whatever name the check has to have on it. So if you own a business and you want it to go to your business account, then you put your company name in there, whatever your bank account name is. So I'm going to put Robert Temple in there because that's mine. I'm then going to put my address. Now, purely for privacy reasons, not that I don't trust you or anything, but I'm just going to put a random bit of rubbish in here rather than typing my address live into the internet. So the street or PO box, I'm just going to put my street address. I live at for the sake of it, number 23 in my city. The province, I don't mind telling you, is South Yorkshire, and the postcode would be NW1 4TR, which it's evidently not, as that's London, but there we go. So again, just so I'm not typing my address into the screen, how can we contact you? Your first name, obviously it's Robert Temple. Your email address, I'm going to put this onto one of my email addresses that I haven't got an account set up, a ClickBank account set up on yet, which is the lifestyle dude at gmail.com. Would you like to receive their emails in HTML or text? Doesn't really matter. It means if you want it just to be plain text, click text. If you want it to be all fancy HTML, click HTML. This is just if they email you, how do you want it to appear? Your telephone number, 0800 000 000. Website of your address, you don't need to put that in. It's not necessary. And then you need to choose an account nickname. Now, this needs to be 5 to 10 letters or digits. So basically, I just try and abbreviate the product name as best as I can. So mine is going to be the Simple Quitting System. So I'm just going to try Simple Quit. So that's 10 letters. So hopefully that will work. And nobody's got it yet. You would then scroll down to the bottom. You would then read the client contract, which of course you would most definitely read so you're not signing your life away. There we go, I've read it. It's quick on it. I'm going to click on the I've read and agreed to the terms and conditions, and then I'm going to click the submit button down here at the bottom. This is where it's going to quickly check all of the details. It's going to quickly make sure that nobody already has that username, and with a little bit of luck, sorry, that account nickname is not available. Somebody's already got it. Okay, so what I'll do then is instead I will call it SimQuit. It may be me. It may be that I've set this up at some point, and I don't think it would be. But SimQuit. We'll try SimQuit instead. I think everything else is probably the same as it was. Yeah. Not that it's a problem. Just as long as you remember what it is. There we go. So you can see it's reloaded the page, and this is the page you would see. It says sign up is not yet complete. Now, basically what that means is you've signed up for an account, but you haven't verified your email address yet, and they need you to verify your email address to make sure that you aren't some weird spamming dude. So what they've done is they've emailed a sign-up completion link and an 8-digit confirmation code. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my email address. You can see there's an email here from ClickBank Notifications with a confirmation code inside. If I click on that, you can see, and it loads. This is an email. It says your email address was recently entered into an online form. Your confirmation code is, and then there is an like an 8-digit code, something like that. Yeah, 8 letters or 8-character code. This is the confirmation code you need. So I'm going to select confirmation code. I'm going to right-click it and select copy. I'm then going to click on the confirmation link, which is just below it in the email. This will take you back to a special kind of dynamically generated page on ClickBank, which you'll only ever see once. Now what we do is we would then go to the this box here. It says confirmation code from your email. So I'm then going to right-click and select paste, and paste that 8-digit confirmation code into that box. Now below that, it then asks you to enter the captcha code. These are these irritating things where you have to be psychic to tell what it says. ClickBanks aren't too bad, however. You would choose ZHKTFZ, in my opinion, in this case, just to prove I'm not a robot. And then going to click finish. This will now create the account for me. And once it's finished, that confirmation code that we were emailed is now the initial password for the actual ClickBank account. So if you were really quick and really sneaky, you could log into ClickBank and you could very quickly change the password because you can see what it is. But don't worry, because I can always reset it from my email. So obviously, ideally, you wouldn't want to share this with anybody, and you can change the password once you get logged in, which I'll be doing at the end of this webinar, so that nobody will be taking our checks and having them redirected to their house. So this this is now the password, and the username is SimQuit. So with all of that said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to now go up to the top. You can see there is a login link. And if you click on that, that will take you to the login page where you can log into the ClickBank account. So that was pretty straightforward. All we've done is created an account, we have verified the account, and ClickBank have given us the password that we can use. So once you're back on the login page, there's a box that asks for your username and a box that asks for your password. So the username was SIM-QUIT for Simple Quitting System. And the password was that weird 8-digit code they gave us. So I'm going to paste that back into there. And then you would click the login button. This will log us into ClickBank.
I shouldn't have to say this, but it is sad. I'm sure everyone on this webinar is smarter than the average bear. But based on previous emails we've had in the past, you use your unique nickname that you generate and the password they send to you. It won't work for you if you try using the one that Rob just generated. I know it's sad that I've got to mention that, but you'd be amazed at some of the support tickets we get.
Indeedy. So now we are logged into the account homepage. You can see down here, now this is exciting. Look at this. Look at all of this money we haven't made yet. Basically, this is the daily and weekly sales snapshots, which you can see currently says 0. So between Sunday, August the 19th, how on earth we were supposed to have made money on Sunday, August the 19th, I have no idea, as I made the account 3 minutes ago. And Sunday, September the 2nd, which is today. So at any one time, this will list, I think it's like the last, is it the last 2 weeks? Yeah, the last 2 weeks in daily snapshots here. So you can see exactly how much you've made on a daily basis. And up here is the weekly ones, and this is like the last 4 weeks-ish, last 4 weeks, and what the current week is currently standing at too. So when you log into ClickBank, you can at a glance see how much money you've made. So if your product is selling for $100 and you sell 10 of them today, then obviously this would say $1,000, which is pretty cool. And basically then what would happen is 50% of that goes to whatever affiliate or whatever commission you set. We recommend 50% would go to whichever affiliate you have referred the sale, and the other 50% gets sent to you via a check. So with that said, I'm going to very quickly give you a tour of the ClickBank account area so that you can see where everything is at. All of the exciting stuff happens up here with this kind of red and gold toolbar, navigation bar rather, you can see at the top. There's the account home, that's where we are now. So whenever you click account home, this first tab, it will just bring you back to this page. The second tab says account settings. On this page, this is where you would take care of your account, as in your personal details like your password, your address, your name, all of that kind of stuff. Again, just wait for this to load. There we go. So you can see it's come up here. It says, you know, paying name, Robert Temple, my address, and that's the address I put in before, email address, password, phone number, all the rest of it. So those are the exact details that you put in at the very beginning of the process. So that's the My Account. You'll see what we've now got is under Account Settings, there's now 5 kind of sub links. So the first one is My Account, and at any point, if you want to change any of this information, like if you realize that you put the wrong payee name in there, you can click on the Edit button over here, and you can edit any of those details. The second tab says My Site, so that's where we're going to be, in a minute, we're going to be customizing all of the details about your site. The next link says My Products, that's where we're going to be doing all of your product details. That's all you really need to know about. The next tab is called Reporting, and in that tab is where you're going to see all of the sales. You're going to see what checks are owed to you. You can see what checks have been mailed to you. You're going to see all of the exciting stuff. That's all going to be in the Reporting tab, so we're going to come on to that in a second. Jared's just asked, how long does it take for ClickBank to pay you and pay the affiliates after the product is sold? What happens is they send a check out to you and your affiliates every second Wednesday. So if you know, obviously I can't tell you where they are now. I can't remember, but they're either every other Wednesday. They then pay out the affiliates. So they send a check to you. They mass mail out their own checks to everybody in the world. One thing I did want to point out, and I can't remember quite what the number is because we passed it a long time ago, but when you have sold a certain, when you've received, I think it's when you've received 2 checks within a 2-month period. So let's imagine that in 8 weeks, so that's 4 payout points. Within 8 weeks, if you can receive 2 checks, so if you can make enough money to receive 2 checks, then you can then contact them and you can get it set up so it pays it directly into your bank account, which I don't think you will save much in terms of the small percentage your bank will charge for processing that for you, but it will be quicker. So you'll get the money within 2 or 3 days, whereas I, in the UK, have to wait for like about a week to 10 days for them to actually, for the check to leave on a Wednesday. It takes like 7 days to get to me, and then obviously it takes up to another 10 days to clear because it's a dollar check. Now that will vary from bank to bank, but NatWest, it's a small percentage, really minute, and a 10-day clearance period, although it normally happens in about 5.
Well, to put that in perspective, 2 things. Number one, if you're with Yorkshire Bank, it's clearly different with different banks, but with my bank, when I get dollar checks through, I take them in and they transfer it directly into UK sterling. That's immediately cleared funds in my bank there and then. And they charge me a lot less than any other bank I know of for doing that as well.
Okay, there you go. So Yorkshire Bank in the UK are obviously better for it. However, as I said, if you've received two checks within a 2-month period, I think that's what it is, you can then apply to have it as just bank transferred into your account instead, which is obviously faster, easier. Means you don't even.
Well, to put it in perspective, you know, when you get your first check and something's selling and the first one arrives, all right, yeah, it may have taken time to come from America and then you've got to clear it. But the fact is that then the time gap between that one having cleared and the next one arriving, however you look at it, you're getting paid, you will end up with cleared funds basically at 2 week intervals.
Yeah. And it's bloody exciting when that first check arrives. When you first make your money on the internet and you get your first ClickBank check, you will jump for joy, let me tell you. So that's how it works. Book says the activation fee is for each product owned, correct? Is each separate product, correct? It's for each separate account. So you only pay the activation fee for each account. Now let me put that in perspective. Yes, I do recommend that you have one account for each product that you generate, that you create. However, there are exceptions to this. Let me put it this way. Imagine you release your smoking product for $97, but you decide that you're also going to release a second cheaper version at $67. For example, it might be kind of a downsell. So maybe it only has, in our case, the full product has the MP3, the ebook, the videos, and the worksheets. But you might decide that if they don't want to pay $97 and get all of that, if they pay $47, they can get just the MP3 and just the videos, or just the MP3 and just the ebook. Or if they pay $67, they might get 3 sections of the course. Now, obviously, that's a disproportionate discount in terms of if you look at how valuable you might consider each aspect of the course to be, you're giving them quite a lot of money off for the bit that's missing. However, it's definitely worth doing if you want to generate some extra sales. So, for example, if you find that someone joined your mailing list, and we are going to give you some free bonus training in a couple of months about list building, if someone was to join your mailing list and you were to mail that person and they didn't about your product and they didn't buy it, then in a couple of days you might email them again and remind them about your product. And if they still don't buy it, then the third time you might want to email them and say, listen, I noticed you didn't buy the simple quitting system, and I can only think that it's because you just don't have that kind of money sitting around right now. So listen, here's what I want to do. I want to help you out. What I've done is I've created a kind of compact version of this for you to check out just how good it is, and it's only $47. Here's the link. And when they click that link, it would take them to a second order form where they can then process their payment. Now, because what you're selling is the same product and it doesn't need its own website, it just needs an order form, you can have that product in the same ClickBank account, but you'd only pay the $50 activation fee once for that account. So it might be, for example, we've even in the past had a product that had a downsell where they could try it for 30 days for $1. And then basically they could either get in, if they didn't like it, they could get in touch and cancel. Or if they didn't get in touch and cancel, we'd assume they loved the product, and after 4 weeks it would bill them the remaining $66. So they've still paid $67 in total. So again, that's a kind of what you would do is you would set that up in ClickBank as a separate product. Even though it's the same product, you would set it up as a separate product because it's got a different billing arrangement. So basically, you might want to try lots of different billings. You might want to have one. You might even want to split test the pricing. We've done stuff where we've sold it on one page for $67, sold it on one page for $77. I really wouldn't split test the price difference any more than that, because people will get knocked if they find out that somebody's got it for $67 and they've had to pay $297 for it. But if it's a $10 difference, you can do that, and it's just a marketing test. It's fine. Basically, what you can do is, again, you just set up 2 different payment plans inside ClickBank, but they'd be the same product and therefore the same ClickBank account, but you only pay the activation fee once. But then if you set up a separate ClickBank account, that would for a weight loss product, that would need its own activation fee. But it's only $50, so if you sell 1 or 2, you'll have made your money back. So that's cool. So let's dive in and get started. Once you have created your ClickBank account, and once you have verified it, and once you have logged in, the first thing we need to do, obviously all of your account settings are there. So the first thing we need to do is to set up your website settings, even though you don't have one yet. And then we need to set up your product settings. And once we've done that, we're good to go. So up here on the account settings tab, which is the second tab in, and I'm very aware you're not going to remember all of this. This is the kind of thing you can just watch the webinar back and then you can go through the process. So step 1, set up your ClickBank account. Very easy. Step 2, find the My Site settings. So you can see it's under account settings, and then there's a sublink called My Site. So I'm going to click on the My Site link, This will then take us across to the My Site settings page, which you can see will look like this. Okay, so you can see there's a big yellow bar at the top that says pending product creation. So the reason is we haven't set up a product yet, but we're going to do that next. So the first of these boxes here says marketplace information. Now basically we're going to leave, well, I'll show you what we're going to do. If I click on the edit button over here on the right hand side, we're going to enter the marketplace information. And basically this is the basic details about what your product is. So we'll click the edit button. This will load this page where we can now tell ClickBank a bit about our product. So the first thing you need to do is to select a category for your product from ClickBank's list of categories. In our case, obviously, for the most part, you're going to be in the self-help category. However, there are obviously lots more you can choose from. If you're releasing a golf product, then that would probably come under sports maybe, or games. It's up to you, and it's kind of optional. If you're doing a gardening product, obviously that would come under home and garden. But in my case, it's a self-help product, so I'm going to click on that one. You now have the chance to choose a subcategory, and in my case, you will see there used to be one called addictions, but they appear to have got rid of that. So now mine would probably be,
abuse.
I'm just going to put it under possibly. I'm going to put this under general now abuse, until I look a little bit more about what's in abuse, because that might be primarily about kind of bullying and even further things than that. So I'll put it in general for now. You can change this around later. It's not a problem. So that's fine. The next thing you're going to do is to enter your hoplink target URL. Now the hoplink is the page that your traffic will land on. So when your affiliates promote this product, where do you want them to go? Well, the answer is it's your sales page. So this will just be the URL of your website. And yes, I'm aware it doesn't exist yet, but hopefully you've bought the domain name by now, and therefore you own it, and therefore you can put it in here. Even though there's nothing on that domain name, you can at least actually enter it in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put http://www.simplequittingsystem.com. Okay, so that's our domain name for this product. Again, there's nothing on it yet, but we do own the domain name. And as soon as we get our hosting fixed, we'll be able to get your hosting set up, and then everybody will be happy, and you'll have your website. The next bit is the mobile hoplink target URL. Now, in here, you're going to put the same URL. Basically, this is the website. Some people decide to have mobile optimized pages made that are developed specifically for iPhone or BlackBerry or Samsung or any kind of Android or iOS smartphone. And so if your people are browsing your website on their phone and you wanted to have a mobile optimized page, obviously we don't, but if you wanted to, you could go out and pay someone probably $20 to do it for you. We just choose not to. Most phones are clever enough to actually just make the page fit and work anyway. And there's going to be very few people who are going to sit and actually read at the minute, although mobile is becoming more popular. There's going to be very few people who are actually going to bother to sit and read through your sales letter on a phone anyway, when the text is really small and they've got to zoom in and then keep moving about and flicking their finger up the page. Very few people are going to do it, but they ask for it, so just put the same URL in there. The next bit is called the marketplace details. Now, this is where you need to give your product a title and a description. Now, this isn't what you would expect. This isn't describing your product for the general public. This is describing your public from an affiliate's point of view. So this isn't putting in here, now you can quit smoking with the world's finest quit smoking program developed and recorded in a professional recording. You're not selling the product here. You're selling it to affiliates. So your plan here is to make the product as attractive as a promotional point of view as you possibly can. So I haven't written this, pre-written it. I'm going to write it in front of you, so it won't be the best thing you've ever seen, and I will be rejigging it, but you'll get the general idea. I'm going to put something like top quality stop smoking product, big commissions. So again, it's something that's just going to grab people's attention. And if you want to see the kind of things that we're looking at, what you can do is you can scroll to the top and click on the marketplace link, which is right up at the very top of the page, and you can see what other people are using as their description. So this is what affiliates will look at when they're thinking about promoting your product, if they're just browsing the ClickBank marketplace and they find your product. You would then put a description. So I'm going to put earn 50% commissions on this high quality hypnosis, NLP and complete mind therapy stop smoking product, sells for $67. Then they can do the maths and work out what they're going to earn, etc. And then basically that's it. You would just put a simple description, and you can have up to 255 characters. So it could be about twice as long as that. But that'll do for now. You'll then to show you what it's going to look like in the marketplace. You can see there's top quality smoking product, big commissions, and then you can choose a commission payout. So this is the percentage amount that you want to pay for your affiliates. Now, I would set this to 50. It could be more, but it certainly, I'm turning to Sean Connery, it certainly shouldn't be less. Okay, so it can be more, but it certainly shouldn't be less. So I have seen some people are paying out 75% commissions. You don't have to do that. I think that's generally a little bit too much. Now you might be thinking, my God, I'm not going to give people 50% commissions. Avon ladies don't get 50% commissions. No, I know. The reason for this is it's just become the done thing in information publishing. Typically, 50% commissions is the standard thing. If you don't offer 50% commissions, you are not going to get as many affiliates. But you'll probably get not even 10% of the affiliates you would get if you offered 50% commissions. 40% commissions even will drop you a lot of affiliates in most cases, particularly for a product that's less than $100. Now, basically, the way you need to look at it is the product hasn't cost you anything to make. It hasn't, well, apart from studio time and the rest of it, but it hasn't cost you anything to physically package it or to send it. It hasn't cost you your manpower to actually post it out. So you'd rather have 50% of something than 100% of nothing. So it's much better to put it at a minimum of 50%, but any more than that's really just overkill. You don't need to go any further. There you go, Keith's just summed it up. I'd rather have 25% of something than 100% of feck all, to use his words. Cool. So once you've filled out those details, you can click the Save Changes button to save the changes. And this will now reload the page, but obviously now you can see it's added those details into the top. So again, these are just kind of example descriptions. I'll probably go through and tweak it and improve it and things. One of the best things I recommend you do is spy on other marketers. As I mentioned, go to the ClickBank marketplace, look around and see what the title and description that other people are using is. The next bit is called order form control, and basically I don't know why this section's there. You now have to say whether you want to allow PayPal and allow ELV. Now basically, the reason I don't know why this section is there is because you can't change either of them to no. So the answer is yes to both of them, and although there is an edit button, you're not allowed to change them. ClickBank demands that you allow both of these. PayPal is obviously a method for people just to pay them from their PayPal account. ELV, I haven't the foggiest what that is. If anybody else knows what it is, you might want to tell me if that's a banking term or whatever, I don't know. But you have to allow it, so there's nothing to change. Basically, ClickBank's kind of primary processing thing is credit and debit card. If somebody wants to pay on any MasterCard, debit card, Maestro, any of those, they can do. But if they want to pay with PayPal, they also can. The next bit you don't need to know about, where it says Advanced Tools, you don't need to know. And the pitch and the thank you footer editor control I've never seen in my life. That's been added within the last week because it wasn't there last week. So it can't be very important because I've done this with dozens of ClickBank accounts, but it's obviously new. So bear with me and I will find out what that is over the next few days because I've never seen it before in my life. That's new. And advanced tools you don't need. This is really if you're doing properly fancy programming stuff, where if you're selling a piece of software and upon purchase you want to, for example, create a unique license code for someone and email it to them, you would use this to do kind of API programmy things, so we don't need it. So the only thing you need to do on site settings is to set up this top section here, which I've just gone through. So just to recap, although it's obviously, I'm dragging it out so I can show you everything in detail, I'll just quickly recap. All I've done is two things. I've made a ClickBank account, which was free. and I've filled in the site details on this site settings page. That's the only two things I've done, but obviously I've done it in detail so you can see every little bit of it. Does that all make sense? Yeah, type yes into the questions box. Cool, everybody, yep, lots of yeses coming through. Cool. So once you've set up your site settings, the next and kind of final step is to set up the My Products section. So if you come up here to the top, you'll see that next to the My Site link, there's another link which says My Products. So I'm now going to click on the My Products link. This will load the products page. Wait for it to show up. Oh, hang on a minute. Arjen says, I still don't understand why you need a separate account for each product. Okay. Basically, we've set up a website at simplequittingsystem.com. Okay. So that's where our stop smoking traffic is going to land. And what it means is whenever affiliates promote this product with this ClickBank account, all of your traffic will go to that web page. So ClickBank only has the facility to send traffic for a particular account to one page. So if you then set up a weight loss product and you added that to this account, then your traffic would go to a stop smoking sales page because that's the one you've set up. So you can only have your traffic from affiliates go to one page, and obviously you want that page to be the page for the product. So unless you're going to go down the route, which we don't recommend, of having one big e-commerce website that's got hundreds of products on it, and if you are, ClickBank is not the best way to go, then you will basically, you'll have affiliates promoting your weight loss product, but when they promote it, all of the traffic will go to the sales page. Arjen says, why is it possible to register more products if they can only send you to one? Again, this is designed, there's a couple of reasons. One is if you want to have upsell products in place, but you want it to run through one ClickBank account. So for example, if you wanted to set it up so that somebody can buy a product from you for $37, and as soon as they've bought it, you offer them a $197 product, and then as soon as they've bought that, you offer them a $497 product, and then as soon as they've bought that, you offer them a $997 product, you can register all of those products within this ClickBank account because you want your affiliates to be cookied for them all. You want your affiliates to get their commission on them all, but you still only need the traffic to go to one page. It only needs to go to the front-end sales page, because then your other sales pages will do the rest. But your sales pages will never have, your upsell pages will never have traffic landing on them directly. Your traffic will only ever go to the sales page, and then that will do the job of selling them into the first product. Then they'll be taken to a different sales page where they're buying to a second product, to a third page where they're buying to a third product, and so on and so forth. But the products would all be run through this one account, because that would make sure that your affiliates still get paid for them. And as I mentioned, the other thing is, if you wanted to set up a separate page where you would offer it at a 50% discount, which you could then send to your friends on Facebook or something, here's a special 50% discount for my Facebook friends. The only way to do that is to set that up as a separate product in ClickBank, but at half the price. So you'd make it at full price, then you'd make a second product at half price, and again, you would just give people that link to that order form. But you can only send people to one order page. Just to add complications to this, there is a product on the marketplace which allows you to send your traffic to a number of different pages through one ClickBank account. It's called ClickBank Affiliate Master and is available at clickbankaffiliatemaster.com. But from memory, it is $97, I think, and it's still not. You can do it, but I recommend not doing it. I recommend just bearing the brunt of it, setting up a different ClickBank account for all of your different websites. It wasn't designed with the ability to, this ClickBank Affiliate Master software wasn't designed to give you the ability to run lots of different products through one ClickBank account, although it can work that way. It was designed so that you could set up a page for a particular affiliate and they could send their traffic there, and it might say at the top, special 10% discount for friends and subscribers of Bob or whatever, and have your affiliate's name in the top. So again, it wasn't designed for that purpose. It was designed by a really good friend of mine, a very successful internet marketer called John Thornhill, who lives in Sunderland, in the northeast of England, where I used to live. John's made like $5 million online, and he had this software built for him, but then started selling it. So I've got it and it works, but I recommend just for this, for our purposes, keep it simple. I'm just telling you that in case you find the software and then come back and call me a liar or unknowledgeable or anything. So I know about it, but I choose not to use it.
Totally honest, you know, $50 is about 30k use case sterling. You're going to be paying that out to get your first product up and running, okay? Now, you're either going to start making decent money from that product or you're not. The reason you wouldn't do, possibly, is if you've written a crap sales letter. Well, that's something you can tweak. If a week goes by and you haven't sold any, clearly, but people have been looking at the site, obviously you need to alter your sales letter. But at, you know, 30 quid, $50, whatever the current exchange rate is, that's to get going, selling your product. When you are making money from that product, the last thing you're going to be bothered about in the slightest is paying another $50, e.g. 30 quid, for setting up another account when you've got another product ready. It's going to take a few weeks to get your other product ready anyway. So you should have had a couple of checks, as long as you've been following the system right. And by having them on separate accounts, certainly if you're like me, who's technology thick, because I am, by having them on separate accounts, it doesn't make it easier to log into your one account and go, I know that anything I see in this account is with reference to the smoking product. So then you can quickly look, see how many you're selling, what sort of affiliates. And you can easily then compare, are my sales up on 2 weeks ago? Is it better than it was this time last year? You know, times of the year with a smoking product when you would logically expect an increase would be New Year's resolution time and National No Smoking Day time. So, you know, if for some reason your sales have gone down around that time, it's an indicator to look at to help you tweak things. And that's easier to do when you're looking at each account separately, one for the smoking product, one for the weight loss, or one for the, you know, make your own garden gnomes, because you might diversify into other niche markets, not just the self-help down the line, if you come across them that interest you. So, yeah, at first sight, oh dear, got to spend more money out, but you'll only be spending money out when you're earning it. It's only that first initial investment where you're technically paying out before you're earning. Back to you, Rob.
Cool.
Sorry.
So we've set up the My Site setting. We're on to the My Product setting. So this is where you're actually going to set up the kind of major product itself. Now, basically, there are two different types of product that you can set up. There's a standard product and a recurring billing product. The standard product, you'll see they're the first two tabs over here. The standard product is where they pay you a set amount of money, and that's it. A recurring billing product is where they would pay you on a monthly basis. So if you were creating a membership site, for example, where they pay a monthly amount each month, then you would use one of these. A standard, straightforward product we're going to use over here. On the right-hand side, you'll see there are two more tabs. One says Pitch plus Upsell Flows. This is something that I've personally never used. Basically, this is a newish feature that came around about 6 months ago in ClickBank, where they've made it easier for you to do kind of one-click upsells. So the idea would be, the way I do it, if someone buys my front-end product and then I upsell them to another product, what happens is that they would have to enter all of their credit card details again. With the Pitch Plus thing, you can set it up so that they buy your first product, they go to the next page where they read the details about your upsell product, which is slightly more expensive, and they can order it with one button. So what it's done is it's kind of securely logged their credit card details for a small amount of time, which allows them to instantly process that to their credit card without them re-entering all the details again. So I've never used it, but it's there if you chose to. And then the other thing is called shipping profiles. Again, a couple of years ago, you couldn't sell physical products on ClickBank, because when somebody bought it from you, ClickBank refused, for whatever reason, to give you that person's postal address. A couple of years ago, they changed this, and provided you set it up as a physical product, you can now actually get their get their details. So if you ever did decide you want to sell a physical product, you can now do it through ClickBank. And what you would do is you would use this shipping profiles tab to set up a certain amount of, basically you would set up a different postal region for each part of the world and tell ClickBank how much you want them to charge for the postage to make sure that you get enough money to pay for it. So if you know that it costs $12 to send your parcel from wherever you live to America, then you could put $12 in there, choose, you know, first class mail with FedEx or whatever, priority mail with FedEx, and then basically what would happen is when someone orders it, that would be added on to their billing price, and then you would receive that on top of everything else. So that's how they set that up. That way you're not paying affiliates out on what the person's paid for the shipping. So that's that, but again, we're not really going to need that. So what we're going to do right now, you'll see there are no results found. That basically means it's had a look and we don't have any product set up yet. So what we're going to do is I'm going to click onto the standard products tab, which it's already on, but I'm just going to click on it to make sure that it's definitely selected. So we've clicked on standard products and it still says no results found because we haven't made any. But we know that we've selected the standard products tab. So now I'm going to come over here to the right hand side and I'm going to click on the add new product button. So we'll click on there. This will load the add a product form. So this is where we would fill in all of the details about the product. We've just got a quick question which I'll briefly answer. On the sign up page, where does their name and email address get listed? I think you mean when somebody buys the product, where do they put their name and email address? If that is what you mean, just type yes into the questions box and I'll answer that. Otherwise, if you can clarify the question. Is that what you meant, David, or have I completely missed the mark on that? No, where will I find them again? Sorry, I'm not quite sure what you mean by that. If you can clarify the question and retype it, and then I'll answer it. Where will you find who again, and at what point? Until then, I'll quickly go through and answer. I'll quickly go through and talk about this page. So this is the page where you would add a product. So the first thing you would do, you'll see there's two tick boxes up at the top. One of them says inactive, but you'll see that that box is grayed out. You cannot tick that box. The reason is that the product isn't active yet, so you can't mark it as inactive. This is basically if you've made a product and for whatever reason you want to, or you've made a billing, you've set up a product with a billing arrangement and you want to make that inactive so that people can't find the order form and buy it. So if you have a 50% discount page and then you randomly change it or take it down, you don't have to delete the product, you can just mark it as inactive. But obviously it's not active yet, so you can't mark it as inactive. The next tick box says shippable media. So if your product is a physical product, you would tick this box, and it adds the shipping profile box further down the page, and that's where you would then decide which. You remember I mentioned the shipping profiles? Once you've set up some shipping profiles, you can choose which shipping profile it's going to be. So who are you going to mail the product with, say FedEx or whatever, and how much is it going to add to their purchase? So we'll untick that because mine is not a physical product. The next bit you would do is you would choose the product type. So is it an audio? Is it a membership site? Is it an ebook, software, games, or video? Well, mine's a combination of the three. There's an audio element to it because obviously there is an MP3. There is an ebook element to it because obviously there is an ebook or two ebooks, and there's a video element to it because there's a number of video tutorials too. The next thing you would do is to choose an item number. Now, this can be anything you like. It's just an arbitrary number. I recommend just leave it as number 1. Basically, this will be used when you put together the code for the add to cart button. This will be told to tell that this will tell the add to cart button which product it is that they're ordering. So if you make 10 different billing arrangements, one that's got a 50% discount, one that's got a 70% discount, one that's got a $1 trial, one that's got all these different billing arrangements, you would just make sure they all have different numbers. But for the first product you add, it's going to be the main billing arrangement, which in our case is just one straightforward payment of $67. You would just leave that item number as 1. The next URL you need is the pitch page. Now this is basically the sales page. That's just ClickBank's word for the sales page. Now you might be thinking, but we've already told it the sales page. Why does it it need to know the sales page again? Well, again, there's two reasons. Number one, it's possible that you might have your traffic landing on a different page. So, for example, the URL that you put into the site settings box may not be your sales page, but that is the page where you want your traffic to land. But for example, you might want your traffic to land on a page that just has a video of you saying, hey, my name's Robert Temple, or whatever your name is. I'm a hypnotherapist and I want to help to share you this, this, and this. If you click on the link below, you'll find out all about my something, whatever product. And when they click on that link, it will take them to the sales page. So basically, if you did want to have an alternative page for your traffic to land on, you would put that there. But just for ClickBank's reference, they want to see the sales page itself, and you would put it in here. So whether they're the same page or different pages makes no difference. But in our case, they are the same page. So I'm going to put the URL in there again. Hopefully that kind of makes sense. All you need to know about, from our point of view, is that you need to put your sales page URL in there. It doesn't require the mobile pitch page, but if you want to put it in, then you might as well. It's the same thing, so it doesn't make a lot of difference. You then need to put in your thank you page. Now, this is the page that people will be taken to after they complete their purchase. Now, right now, you don't know what that is because it's not on the internet yet. So for now, I just put in simplequittingsystem.com/thankyou.html. And basically, you can change this when you do know what it is. So for now, just so that there is something there, I just put in simplequittingsystem.com, whatever your website is, .com/thankyou.html. Basically, all web pages will have this .html extension on the end. HTML is the programming language in which web pages are made, stands for Hypertext Markup Language, if you want to get geeky. The next thing you would do is to choose the main currency that you want to sell your product in. In truth, when somebody goes to buy your product, ClickBank will automatically work out where they are and it will list the price in their local currency. So if I was to put, say, $100 for my product price, but someone from the UK was to buy it, it will automatically work out that they're in England or in the UK, and it will change that to be, to say, £60 or whatever it is. For some reason, my computer seems to think I'm in Hong Kong. So whenever I go to buy a product on ClickBank, it lists it in Hong Kong, which is thousands of whatever their currency is. So I don't know why, but my computer seems to do it. But generally, it does work. You would next choose the product price. Now, the point is, I always list them in dollars. Either way, you're going to get your check in dollars or you're going to get your payment made in dollars, so it makes no difference. You might as well leave it in dollars, and it just makes it easier. You're then going to choose your product price. So I'm going to put $67 in there because this is the price that we're going to charge. Really, you can charge anything you want. If your product is just an MP3, then you might only want to charge $47 for it. But at the same time, if it has 28 videos, 9 MP3s, and 16 ebooks, and it's a full-on year's course, then you might want to charge $97, $197, $297. So we're going to go with $67. Just to point out that the reason I list this in dollars is, and this is no offense to people who are in America listening to this, but typically people in America tend to run away if they see a currency sign that is anything other than dollars. The reason is dollars are just so worldwide known, recognized, and used and referred to that it's just easier. And everybody else in the world is happy to quickly work out what that cost them in dollars. But from talking to people in America, most people don't instantly know what that's going to be in, what a pound sign is going to be in dollars. So it's much easier. If you list it in dollars, you are then accessing the majority of the world who understand what dollars are. People who are in England are fairly happy to work out what it is. And when they click on the Add to Cart button anyway, ClickBank will tell them what it is to the exact penny. Arjan says, how did you come up with the price $67? Basically, most internet marketers sell their products in prices ending in 7. It's basically to take away from the old things ending in 9.99. So most shops sell things for $199.99, or $19.99 or $1,999. And basically, internet marketers have found over the last few years that if they end it in 7, it has the same effect. It has that effect of making it dramatically less than the biggest number. So in other words, 67 sounds dramatically less than 70, but without it being too much less. So most products do end in a 7, and then really it's up to you. 67 was an arbitrary number. That's a price that we've done well with a lot of our other products. We have a weight loss product that's $67. So we've typically done very well with other products that end in 7. And 67 particularly was a good price for a product of this for a product of this size that has an ebook and all the other different bits and pieces. So we decided to stick with 67. Of course, if we put this up on the internet and it's selling for a year and we don't sell very many, or we don't sell as many as we hope to, we wouldn't leave it a year. We'd do it within 3 or 4 months, but we might try changing the price around. So we might have a summer sale and sell it for $47, or we might have a New Year sale and sell it for $47. And if it sells dramatically better, then we might leave the price there. At the same time, we could also put the price up to $97, and it may sell even better, and then we'll sell it again at that price. So putting the price up doesn't always mean you'll make less money. You might put the price up, and the conversions might only drop a little bit. So if you put the price up by $100, but you're only selling 3 less, then obviously you're making more money. So again, it's just a case of playing around with it, but it's more or less an arbitrary number, if we're completely honest. But there's a small amount of science to it. We found that number works well. Book says, if I sell a product with $50 with a 50% commission, then later offer a discount, does the affiliate commission remain 50% of the sale price or the original commission amount? It's still 50%. Basically, you've set the commission for your entire account. So any of the products within this account that sell, the affiliate will get 50% of that. So if you put the price down to $25, then they'll only get $12.50. If you put the price up to $100, they'll get $50. So it dynamically changes as you change the product price. David Townsend says, the customer lists their name and their email address. How do I recover that for future use? That's what we're going to be talking about next week when we talk about putting the whole website together. We're going to get you signed up with a mailing list provider, the one that we use. So when we send an email to our entire list of customers or our entire list of subscribers, we're doing that through a piece of web-hosted software, which is really cool. And I think even Jonathan, who is, as by his own admission, technically not massively au fait, I've got him using our it's called Aweber, using our mailing list provider, and I think you'll agree it's pretty cool.
I could get my head around it till the bastards changed some of the settings last week, which panicked me because I'm not computer savvy, but I sat there for literally 2 or 3 minutes looking at it and thinking, right, there's something moved from here, where is it? And I found it, and I actually overcame that mental block because although they'd moved something which panicked me, because I'm not computer savvy, they'd only literally moved the position of where it was. It was still basically as simple to use, and yeah, I can actually send emails out now to everyone. So believe me, if I can do it, you definitely will be able to, guys and girls.
So we're going to set you up with this mailing list provider, which means that basically it's like an online database that's uniquely yours, that everybody will add, that everyone will add their name and email address to, and by joining your list, and you will use this piece of web-based software to manage and email and delete if they give you any abuse or hassle, and basically manage your entire customer and subscriber database. So if you at any point decided to give away a free report in order to build a list of subscribers, and then you can market your product to them later, you can do all of that using this simple piece of software. So we'll talk more about it. And it's not entirely essential. You know, if you're a bit worried, it's $1 for the first month and then $19 a month after that for your first 500 subscribers. And then basically the price goes up a small amount for all the subscribers you've got. But just to put this into some perspective, for every subscriber on our list, we typically make somewhere between $1 and $1.50 per month. So in other words, if you can get our numbers, if you can match our numbers, if you have 100 subscribers on your list, then you would make roughly $100 to $150 per month from those 100 subscribers. Once you've got 1,000 people on your list, you'll maybe be making roughly $1,000 for your list. So just by email marketing to that list, by promoting products, by selling them your things, by selling them affiliate promotions, you would be able to make somewhere, as I said, in around the realms of about 50 cents to $1.50 per subscriber per month. So it's very, very easy to make that money back. Again, it's not totally essential. You can, if you want to, when someone buys the product, you could immediately take them to the download page and bypass that bit entirely. But personally, we recommend building.
But you're missing out on making money then.
We're kind of recommending you take every available opportunity to do this. So you pop the product price in there. We're going to call it $67, and then you would choose the language of the product, which is English, and then you're going to put the product title, which is Simple Quitting System. You can see the next one says product image, but as it says, the ability to add images is not enabled until your first product has been approved. Because basically, once you've gone through all of this, ClickBank have to look through everything. They don't want to look at your product, so you don't need to worry about them. Well, what if they think my product's rubbish? And it won't be, but they don't need to look at that. They just need to look at the sales page and make sure that you're not promising things that are literally impossible. Make sure that you have a 60-day money-back guarantee, as is their requirement. They just want to make sure that it complies with all of their terms and conditions, but there's nothing too drastic about that. So, but you can't add any images until they have approved that. I'll click on the Save Changes button at the bottom. This will now add that. Keith Taylor says, what are the legalities about lists? I have a gazillion email addresses. Basically, I can see Alex has typed a reply, although I can't quite see what it says. Basically, there is a law called the Can-Spam Act. It's basically the law of email marketing. It's it basically defines what is email marketing and what is spam. So provided somebody has given you their email address with the intent that you will then email them stuff, they have consented to joining a mailing list from you. So that could be you've put your email address in to get a free report and you get a free lifetime membership to my monthly newsletter. Provided someone is knowingly given you their email address so that you can send them something and then join your newsletter, that's fine. Typically, what you would want somebody to do is, as soon as they've joined your list, you would send them a confirmation email with a link in it, like ClickBank did with us. When we set up that ClickBank account, it sent me a link, and I had to click on that link and then enter a confirmation code. That was to prove, so that ClickBank now have a trail that proves that people have opted in and requested that information. So I am now on their list. I'm a verified subscriber. They have a trail from my ISP to their ISP to all of their databasing and everything to prove that I have opted in and I have confirmed my email address. So that's fine. However, you said no, these are just collected. Theoretically, if you were then to email them with marketing material, that would be considered spam in law. But it would require them to then report you about it for you to get into any trouble. And all they do is they'd say, stop it. To my knowledge, there might be something a bit more severe, but like give you a spanking or something. But I don't imagine it's anything particular other than a telling off, unless you continue to do it. But technically, yeah, if they haven't opted in to receive information from you, then technically that's against the Can-Spam Act. But when we talk about next week about getting Aweber and everything set up, you'll understand how all of that side of things works. So now what you can see is in this list of standard products, I have now added a product. Woohoo! The product is item number 1. I guess that's just the number I gave it, just an arbitrary number. The thank you page is currently simplequittingsystem.com/thankyou.html. We'll be changing this at a later date because that's a bit too obvious. People could probably guess that and then get your product for free. So when we know what it's going to be, we'll change that to some big, long, obscure URL. The title is the Simple Quitting System. The currency is US dollars. It's $67, and we're giving a 50% commission. But you can't change this for individual products. You can only change it for the whole account. So that's it in terms of setting up the product. Now, you're effectively at this point done with ClickBank, except for a couple of things, and I'll show you what they are. Basically, ClickBank now has everything it needs, apart from you haven't uploaded the web pages, but that's because we haven't made the download page yet, which is one of the things we'll be doing next week when we put the overall finishing touches on everything. We were going to do it this week, but then with all of the web hosting and everything being down, I realized that you're going to have some catching up to do because of our website hosting being down. So I figured, right, we'll make this nice and simple. You can do what I've just done in 20 minutes, no problem at all, but obviously I've shown you it in detail, so it's taken an hour and a bit. So that's that. I'm now going to walk you through the final bits of this. What I want you to remember is a couple of things. You need to remember what your account username is for ClickBank. So in my case, it is SimQuit, for Simple Quitting System, SimQuit. But it would be whatever you chose when you signed up for the account. The other thing you need to remember is the item number of your product, which, if you follow my advice, will be number 1. So now there are two different things, two different links that we need to generate, and I'm going to show you how that works now. What I'm going to do, just give me 2 seconds. I'm going to open up, something up just so I can put a big screen on for you and type this out for you. Does everything make sense so far, guys? That would be really cool. You can just let me know. Okay, cool. Arjen says, where do we register the affiliate registration and tools page? Again, those will just be static pages on your website, and I'm going to show you what will go on them now, but we'll be doing it next week. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to open a random screen that I can kind of write on so that you can see stuff in big writing. Second. Just waiting for, I think my MacBook might be buggered because it keeps coming up with the screen has a funny tinge of blue on it. You won't be able to see it because I think it's an error with the screen rather than with the graphics, but it's a bit weird. Just let me find what I've loaded because it doesn't appear to be working for me. Strange. I've just opened a page in Photoshop so that I can draw stuff, but it doesn't appear to be loading for some reason. Bear with me a second. I'll try again. We'll try making it 1,000 pixels wide. I just want a big white space that I can draw on effectively, but it ain't showing up. All right, then what we'll do then is we will do it a different way. I will do it with. If only I had a computer, I could have shown you it in Paint or something. But so come back, Bill Gates, all is forgiven. Okay, then what I'll do then is I'll do it the other way, which would be to find. Hopefully this will work. I can get one of these free drawing boards, online drawing board, free. Scribblink, that should do. Loading your whiteboard.
Haha.
Oh no, that's not working either. Happy days. Let's try a different one. Dabble board. And then if this doesn't work, we'll do the really old-fashioned way.
PC compatible only.
Dabble board.
No, that's Scribbling. One of it.
All right.
You're all fancy with your Apple products, but there's lots of things won't work on them.
Right, here we go. Dabble board. Let's try this one. Happy days. Right, we don't want any of that crap. Thank you very much. Right, can everybody see the screen? Yeah, cool. It's come up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk you through this. There are 2 links that you need to know. The first one is, oh, I didn't want that. Oh bugger! This is I can't write anything properly, so I'll not bother with it. I'll just talk you through it. There's 2 things that you need to know. If I type in this URL bar at the top, can you kind of see it? Where it says dabbleboard.com or it says ClickBank. Can you see what I'm going to type in there? Hopefully it's big enough. There's 2 things that you need to know.
Yeah.
The first thing you need to know is the affiliate link that your affiliates can use to promote your product. So what happens is it looks like this. It's http://. So everything begins with http://, so that bit's easy. Once you've got that done, the next bit would be the affiliate username. So in other words, this is where affiliates would insert their username. So all of your affiliates, in order to promote your product, all they need is a free ClickBank account, just like the one you've got. And when they've got that, they will have the affiliate username. So if you wanted to use this ClickBank account to promote someone else's product, yours would just be, in my case, SimQuit. It would just be the username you've created. So they would need their affiliate username. So for example, Jonathan and I have a ClickBank account with the username Elite Hip. So if we were going to promote someone's product, we would put Elite Hip in there, and then that would, people would know that we had referred the mail. Or I think it's Elite Hip Boot or something, actually, anyway. So affiliate username.
Yeah,
then you would have a full stop, so just a dot, period, if you're in America. Full stop, dot, whatever you want to call it. So affiliate username, dot. The next bit would be your username, so your ClickBank username. So in my case, that's SimQuit. So that's the account username, which is selling the product. Then you would have another dot, and you would have the word hop, then a dot, then the word ClickBank, then a dot, and then net. So it's the affiliate username dot your account username dot hop dot clickbank dot net. So to put this into some perspective, if this was your product and Jonathan and I were going to promote it, because we're jolly nice chaps, we would replace the word affiliate username with our account username, which is Elite Hip Boot, like that. And now if someone was to click on that link, and I'll just show you, if someone was to click on that link, it will take them to the sales page for our product. Now clearly that sales page doesn't exist, so it's going to take us to a random holding page, just when it loads. You'll see what it's done is it's changed the URL to simplequittingsystem.com/hop=0. So that actually just means nothing. Basically, ClickBank has hidden the fact that we have referred the sale. Okay, so now ClickBank has logged the fact that we have sent that person, but it just takes you to the Simple Quitting System website. Okay, so again, just to recap on what that URL is, it's http:// the affiliate username dot, and then whatever your account username is, dot hop dot clickbank dot net. And obviously I'll put that in the members area for you so you can just copy and paste it, and then all you have to do is to get the affiliate to put their username in here, you put your account username in there, and you're done. So that's how you would generate the affiliate link for the person. So all someone needs is a ClickBank account, and they can put their username into that space there, and then that's their unique affiliate link for this product. So that's how you create the affiliate username. Now I want to show you how you create the order button. So when someone clicks on the Add to Cart button, it will take them to a URL for the order form, and this is how you create that. Again, it begins http://. Now the next bit is the item number. So in our case, remember that item number we made was number 1? So that's where the item number comes in, because we need to tell it which product we're creating the order form for. So it's product number 1 dot, then it would be your account username. So in my case, that would be SimQuit dot pay, P-A-Y, dot clickbank dot net. So it's the item number, in my case that's 1, dot the account username, so in my case that's simquit.pay.clickbank.net. So now what ClickBank will do is it will look for the account SimQuit, which is the account we've made. It will look for product number 1, which is our product, and then it will take them to the order form for that product. So what you would do is you would take this URL here, I'm going to copy it out, and using your HTML editor, which is literally as easy as using Microsoft Word, you would make this Add to Cart button go to that URL. So when someone clicks on this Add to Cart button, it will take them to 1.simquit.pay.clickbank.net. Okay, hopefully that kind of makes sense. Again, you can watch through this webinar recording as soon as our hosting is back up and running and when I've uploaded it, and I'll give you that URL so you can just insert your insert your account username, and then it will just work. So what I'm going to show you is what happens when they click on that. I'll show you the order form that it creates. So I'm going to go to 1.simquit.pay.clickbank.net, hit the enter button. This will now take me to the order form for that product. Waiting for that to load up. The old Tinterwebs are being a bit slow. There we go. So this is the order form for that product, which is obviously hosted on the ClickBank website. That's cool though, because it makes it look all official, and obviously it tells people it's secure. They're not giving their credit card details to you or anything.
It's still tinkering on.
I don't know why it's doing it. So $67 is apparently, at the minute's exchange rate, is 554 Hong Kong dollars and 3 Hong Kong cents, I would assume. I don't know. Obviously, generally, it should work out that I'm in England, and it would list it in British pounds. So I've just clicked British pounds, and it will now reload it. Oh, it still hasn't done it. Your currency conversion request is timed out. I don't know why. Something wrong with my computer, but never mind. So it will list. It should list it in their local currency, and generally it does. One quick tip, by the way: if you are not in America and you ever buy a product on ClickBank.com, this is a complete aside. I just want to tell you: if you are not in America and you want to buy a product on ClickBank, when you put in your address, leave your location as the United States, regardless of where you live. It won't affect your ability to make a payment. Your credit card payment will still go through, but you will not pay your country's tax on the product. If I change this to say Great Britain, it will add VAT tax onto the product. But if you leave it as United States, it doesn't charge you the VAT or whatever your local country's tax is. So there's an interesting little tidbit there for you. If you ever buy a product on ClickBank, that'll save you, in our case, it's 20%, but whatever it is, wherever you live, on the product. So there you go. So leave this as United States, but the product purchase will still actually go through. So this is what the order form will look like. You'll see right now there is an error message that says this account has not been activated. Until it's activated, only purchases using test credit card information may be placed. Now what you can do, once the whole website is set up, which again we're going to finish off next week, you can then go through and generate some test credit card information. So this is fake credit card information that ClickBank will give you that will allow you to process a payment on this web page once, just to make sure that it works, make sure that it takes you to the page it should take you to, that kind of thing. So you can do a test purchase, but you can't do a real purchase because the account hasn't been activated yet. The bit I wanted to show you is that if I was to scroll down to the bottom, you'll see down here at the bottom, there's a thing that says affiliate equals none. Now basically what this would be is, once this account is activated, if I was to send, if an affiliate had referred this sale, then the affiliate's username would appear here where the equal sign is. Now generally people don't scroll down that far, so they don't see it, but under the FTC laws in America, ClickBank have to display when an affiliate sale is being generated, so that if somebody did want to know, they know that whoever's referred them the sale is actually being compensated for making that referral. So if they were to scroll down to the bottom, it would list just the affiliate username, so in our case, Elite Hit Boot, down at the bottom, to show that we are the referring affiliate. This is good though, because this means your affiliates will be confident that they're going to receive their commission, as they can click on their own affiliate link, they can go to the order form, they can scroll down and they'll see their name here, and they will know that they are going to receive their commission for their purchase. So that is the order form. So those are the two links that you will need to generate. One of them is your affiliate link, which your affiliates can then insert their username into. And the other one is your order link, which you will only need to make once for each payment thing that you set up. And you would put that on your sales page. And again, well, that's what we're going to be doing next week. But you can see that it refers you to an order form, which will look like this. And the only other difference is that when it's a live order form, this box over here on the right-hand side will have a PayPal button in it. So they can't put that there because they'd have no way of stopping you from ordering. But when it comes down to a real live account, when you've activated it and paid the $50 activation fee, which again, we're going to go through next week, there will be a PayPal button here for people to pay via PayPal. So apart from that, that's pretty much everything that I want to show you for today's webinar. So just to kind of recap, what we should have by now is somewhere on your computer, in my case I've put it on my desktop for the purposes of this webinar, you will have a folder for your product. So mine says Simple Quitting System. You will have a folder that has your website in it, which will either be A nice fancy graphic, one like this, which you would have designed by a graphics designer. Or alternatively, it might be a plainer one using our very simple template, which again you'll be able to download with this recording of this webinar as soon as our hosting is back up and running and when I've uploaded the webinar. So again, you'll either have a nice fancy graphic one like this, or you might decide that you want to use our template and save yourself $67. It's really up to you and your budget. And you might decide that you want to have a plainer mini site design, which we're going to give you. So you will hopefully have that, although obviously your website isn't complete yet. You will now be able to complete your sales page. So that's all we want you to do. By next week, we want you to have your sales page complete. We showed you how to write the sales letter last week, and now we've shown you how to, we've shown you what the sales page should look like, and you can do it using the free HTML editor. Some people will have like Microsoft Front Page, for example. That's kind of a cheaper version of Dreamweaver. Again, if you've got that, you can go ahead and use that. If you've got the expensive Dreamweaver one, as lots of people who just kind of amateurs do, amateur web designers, for some reason they buy it, that's fine. That's kind of the industry standard level web design package. Or if you just want to use a free one, there's one called Coffee Cup HTML editor, which you can find by Googling, but the one I like is called Composer, which is spelled Kompozer, and you can get it from Composer, Kompozer.net, and it's free. So hopefully by next week you will have been able to put together your sales letter, which again you would write in Microsoft Word, and then you'd copy and paste it across into your HTML editor. You should also have a folder with your actual product itself in it. Now that may just be an ebook, it might just be an MP3, it might just be a video, or it might be a combination of the above. You can see we've got 4 different parts to our actual product. And hopefully also by next week you will have your ClickBank account, which again I have just shown you how to set that up. And it's very easy. You can literally do it. I'd say the first time you do it, it might take you half an hour. If you actually go through this webinar and just do step 1, then pause the webinar recording and then do it. And then do step 2, and then pause the webinar recording and then go through and do it. And then watch step 3 and then pause the webinar recording and then go through and do it. So it might, I suppose it's going to take you the length of time to watch the webinar again. But you can do it much quicker. The more you do it, the quicker you get. Really, I can do it in 20 minutes now, just start to finish, no distractions. So a lot of, as I said, I've taken like an hour and 40 minutes to teach you it. That's purely to make sure that every little nuance and detail is covered. So once you've done that, by next week, you should have your finished sales page, and you should have your product, and you should have your ClickBank account. What that means is next week, we can put all of the pages together, which will complete your sales funnel. It means that you will actually have a working website up there on the internet and ready for people to go ahead and buy your product. So to kind of round up this webinar off from my point of view, before we ask if you've got any questions, is really just to say, you know, we're waiting now for a notification from our web host to let us know that our web host is back up, our websites are back up and running. Basically, as soon as we get that notification, we will be immediately working very hard on getting everything up to date. Now, admittedly, the last time it happened, because it happened 2 days ago, then they got it up for a few hours and then it collapsed again. There was some stuff missing because the backup they restored was an old backup. So there will be stuff that we have to re-upload, stuff that you've already seen in the members area that's no longer there. We'll have to re-upload that. So I'll do it as quickly as I can. Admittedly, it may take a couple of days. But whilst that's happening, I'll be getting the recording of this webinar ready, along with everything else that we need to give you, so that literally as soon as our web hosting is ready, I can set everything uploading overnight, go to bed, and when I wake up the following day, it should be all up there and waiting for you and ready to go. So you'll just have to bear with us for like the next 5 days or so while we wait for our web hosting to be sorted. Our web hosting should be back up a lot quicker than that, but obviously it's going to take me then a few days to get everything back up and polished off the way it should be. So again, we thank you for bearing with us. You guys are our kind of beta testers of this program. We know you're going to love it. We know that you're going to love the results you achieve. But as I said, you're kind of the balancing point of you getting into this program so cheap. You know, the price we're knocking around with for the eventual recordings of this webinar is like between $3,000 and $5,000. So you've got in for like potentially a tenth of the price. So the kind of the balancing point of that is this is kind of, we've never taught this program before, so things are happening a little bit slower than we originally planned, but that's just the way stuff is. But the feedback we've been getting around from everyone has been brilliant. So that's really cool. Having not been around next week, I haven't seen it. I think I'm catching it. bit confused by that. I think that's a joke, but I'm not sure. It might not be. Maybe I've.
Sorry, I muted myself then.
Oh, that's all right. Were you talking?
Yeah. No, I accidentally muted myself.
Oh, okay.
So,
Cool.
right, having not been around next week, I haven't seen it. I think I'm catching it. What's that? When are
Oh,
we...
catching up.
Right.
Okay,
When are
cool.
we scheduling next one for then?
Right, so today is the 2nd of November.
September even there.
Sorry, September rather. Let me take a quick check in my diary just to make sure that I have nothing particular.
I think you're best have if you think it's November.
Yeah. So today's the 2nd of September. Next week I am not going to be here because we're at a wedding, as in Sunday. So Monday is the next kind of Sundays and Mondays, which appear to be the most popular days to do this. Monday is the day that I can do.
Monday the 10th of September.
Monday the 10th of September.
That's probably just as well then, because it allows that little bit of extra time in terms of ensuring the web server's repaired and everything's up there for people to be, you know, it's back up and people can go through it and what have you. So I think Monday's probably better.
Cool. So the next webinar will be on Monday the 10th of September, which is a week to tomorrow. Sorry. Yeah, Monday the 10th of September, which is a week tomorrow, or a week today if you're in the UK, as it's just become midnight. Monday the 10th of September, 5 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That's 10 p.m. here in the UK. Just as a quick ahead of that, so we can kind of work ahead a little bit. On the 12th, I am going to Florida for a week, and I won't be back until the 18th. So the next one will have to be on the following Tuesday, which is the 18th. Because otherwise I'll be in midair. I'll be in midair on the 17th. So the next one will be one day late.
Can you go away when?
I go away on the. I leave the country on the 12th. And I get back on the 17th.
So 2 days after the webinar, yeah.
Yeah, but I won't be back in the land of the living until the 18th.
Which is Tuesday the 18th.
Yeah, so the next webinar is on September the 10th. The next one after that will be on September the 18th. And then there'll be one more webinar to go, which will be on the 20th.
No, it can't be. If you're not back, you're going to do a webinar on Tuesday the 18th?
Yeah, I'll be back on the 17th, so that gives me 24 hours to overcome jet lag, and I'll do the webinar on
All right,
the 18th.
let's put this in the diary now then. So
yeah, that's why I'm mentioning it now. So we do a Passive Hypnosis Profits webinar on the 10th.
Module 6 is taking place next Monday, the 10th of September.
Yep.
The same times. Module 7 is taking place on Tuesday, the 18th of September.
And then the last one is on the 25th, which is Module 8. Sorry, well, that could be on the Monday if you want it to be. I'll leave that to you.
I'm just checking the diary here.
Oh, hang on a minute. Give me a second. I need to. That's Freshers Week for gigs, so I'll just double check it. Yeah, I can do either the 24th or the 25th.
The 24th, the Monday.
Yep.
So that's Module 8 is on Monday, the 24th of September.
And that should be, provided we get through everything, that should be the last module.
In terms of bolting it all together, but obviously people have like other questions and
what we'll probably end up doing is running a general Q&A brainstorming session where we can look at exactly what you're doing and answer any questions you've got. But we'll schedule that when we get that far. But in terms of the remaining sessions, next week, which is the 10th, we'll do webinar 6, which is about putting everything together and uploading it, which means you'll actually have a fully working website. The following week, which is the 18th, we're going to be talking about finding affiliates and getting people to actually promote your product. And on Module 8, which is on the 24th of September, we're going to be talking about growing your business from there, where to go next, what to do next, how to expand this in terms of both duplicating the system again into other niches, but also in terms of other traffic methods and generally growing the business, making it better. These are the kind of the ninja strategies, if you like, to make more money out of everything you do. So we're going to be talking about all kinds of things, like building a list from the people who land on your website but don't buy it. For example, you've seen on our website, if someone lands on the website and then leaves, we immediately offer them something for free. We say, wait, don't go yet, don't leave empty-handed, have this cool thing for free, which means they've joined our list, and then we can market to them via email. So we'll be teaching you things like that. We'll be teaching you about things like having upsells and downsells and $1 trials and all kinds of other cool stuff. So those are the kind of the ninja tactics that you can kind of bolt onto the thing. Cool thing about internet marketing is once you've got the initial funnel up and running, there's no reason why you can't very easily, in fact, begin bolting cool things onto it. So this is just your initial funnel, but say in 6 months' time, if you make a weight loss product and you want to upsell that to people who buy your smoking product, then again you can do that, and we'll teach you how to do all of those kind of cool little ninja things then. Arjan says, you said something about complete resale rights on the product you're making as an example. What does this mean? I can translate it to Dutch. Yeah, basically all of you will get the simple quitting system, product, website, everything, so that you could buy a now obviously you can't buy simplequittingsystem.com because I've got it, but you could buy Arjan's quitsmokingsystem.com. I mean, something better than that. But you can basically, you will get full resale rights on the product, which means you can even rename it if you want to. If you want to call it the Big Quitting System, you can. If you want to call it Powerful Quit, then you can call it that. You can just change the name. You have new graphics done. Use the same sales letter, but just change the name and the graphics, and sell it. Or if you are, in Arjan's case, obviously Dutch, and you want to translate it to your language, or if you're Keith and you live in Leeds and you want to translate it to Yorkshire, then you can translate it to whatever language that you want to translate it to, and sell it yourself. So you'll get rights to that. Keith says he missed last week and hasn't seen the download, but he'll get by till we sort it. All right, cool. We'll get that fixed as quickly as we possibly can. So we are waiting on our web hosts getting that bit fixed, and then as soon as that's done, we will obviously work on just uploading anything that's missing, which I have a feeling will be the last couple of modules. So with that said, do we have any other questions about what you've learned in tonight's webinar? Just to sum up there, Arjan, yes, you will get the rights to translate our product into Dutch and sell it yourself. And in English. Cool. We'll give you a couple of minutes to ask any questions. Obviously, I've done the majority of the talking on this because this is stuff I've done before. But Jonathan, do you have anything particular to add? Anything you wanted to say?
No, to be honest. I'll be totally honest to everyone on the call. Everything that's been shown tonight, pretty much everything. Not everything that's been talked about, because I have now dealt with AWeber and stuff that's going to be talked about next week. But I've been learning stuff tonight because, as I've said before, I've been that lazy and scared of things that I haven't even set anything up with ClickBank before. I've had Rob do it for me because I told him, well, hey, the partner's in this business, you can do all the technical stuff. And to be honest, having watched tonight's webinar, I'm feeling a bit stupid really, because it's not scary. When Rob told me over the phone it wasn't, I frankly didn't believe him, but now having watched the webinar, I feel confident I could go and set it up like that, and well, probably I'm going to have a go at just doing it just to prove to myself that is a damn sight easier than I imagined it could be. Either that, you just explained it well, Rob. Probably a bit of both.
Yeah, literally, it took me a good 6 months to get my head around it and work it out, because there's no clear, but there's no really, really good tutorials on the ClickBank website actually teaching you how to do this kind of stuff. There is a vague thing, but there's no do this, then do this, then do this, then do this, and there's nothing that says anywhere that I've found on the internet in particular that explains it well and says, it says things like, you can only have one website per account. You can only send traffic to one page. It took me ages to work that out. I was trying to make one account with lots of products on it, and I think, well, how do I tell? How does the website know where to send the traffic? And then I was going on, I can only send it to one place. So then I had to make new account, and it just spent ages of just experimenting, and eventually 6 months later-ish worked it out. And now, as I said, I mean, we've done it tonight. We've done the entire process in in an hour and a bit, nearly 2 hours. But that's because I've gone into detail on everything. So when you just bash through it, I can do it now in 20 minutes. You'll soon be able to do it in 20 minutes once you've done it a couple of times. First time, just watch through the tutorial, copy everything I do, and keep pausing it while you do so. And once you've done it once, you'll quickly get the hang of it. So apart from that, I don't think there are no other questions. Tony says, no questions, you've really demystified ClickBank for us. Arjun says, no further questions. Keith says, I'm dead happy. Thanks again, guys. Slick as always. Cool. Agreed, Alex. And I think we are the same with that one, naturally. It's the fear of the unknown in it, says Keith. Yeah, indeed.
Oh,
Jared
yeah,
says,
it is.
really great. Jared says, really great. Good stuff. All right, everybody's happy. Book says, no questions. Thank you so much. Good. Everyone's really happy. That's all that really matters. So with that said, the webinar's been on for 2 hours and 10 minutes. We will, 2 hours and 5 minutes. We'll wrap up this call, and you can all go and start playing around with ClickBank and all the rest of it. So please bear with us. You are beta testers of this program. You are the guys who are going to go out there, do it first, make the money first, and then make us look really good. So, you know, everything is being put together, but obviously it's a bit slower than it would be if you just bought it and were instantly ready to go. So with that said, let's wrap up this webinar, and we will see you on Monday, the 10th of September at 5 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, 10 p.m. in the UK. Keith says, when you're all up and running, will you email? Yes, as soon as everything is fixed, I'll be rushing into our mailing list thing and emailing everybody to go, hooray, it's working. All right then, folks, we'll let you know as soon as everything's up and running. Until then, please just be patient and bear with us, and I promise you it will definitely be worth the wait. Apart from that, we'll talk to you very soon. Good night, everyone. Talk to you soon.
Good night, guys.